We are T-minus less than 24 hours until the penultimate Ardeer Championship race. How much can I f*** with this and get away with? So changes we have made in this car since the last episode. We've installed a 6-speed, we have installed a lightweight flywheel, new clutch, and throttle bodies. That's enough to make a difference. Whether or not it makes a good difference remains to be seen. I know I seem to be piling a lot into this car without actually measuring the improvement it makes, but well, I've got 2 races left, I've got to try everything I can. Tomorrow's set to be really wet. Now that's a bit of a problem because, as I've noted in a few episodes, the tyres on these are not great. We have problems between understeer and oversteer in the same sections of the course, so let's rule out grip. I have a set of used NS2Rs, which we had the same ones in the Impreza and they were really good. I'm going to chuck them on and see if that makes a difference. Then we're going to need to look for some other improvements. Like I say, less than 24 hours, I've not got a long list of things I can try. By way of a quick comparison, here is one good tyre, which is on the front. Now, why would you say just one good tyre, Tommy boy? Well, that's got about 5 mil of tread left, compared to front left, 1 mil, rear right, 1 mil, and rear left, 1 mil. Let's start with the rears first, shall we? Changing tyres is a young man's game. That has legitimately knocked the f*** out of me. Now, you can see the fronts are on and nice and balanced as best as I can get them. I'm quite worried about the fact that the tread seems to sit out a lot more than it did with the old ones, but I'm thinking it's probably just because it's off the ground. Anyway, I've not fitted the backs yet. By the way, we have a brine. Because I've got one last thing I'm going to do. Now, you'll remember we had coilover gate. The fronts have sheared, so are probably going to be scrap. However, thinking pragmatically here, my back coilovers are the worst because of these max speeding tiny things that they've supplied. My back coilovers that I got with the Gazzies are okay. So, answers in the comments box below. Am I a minge bag for mixing and matching coilovers front and rear? Don't know, but the back bouncing is the biggest problem with this thing's handling. So if I can put the Gazzies on in the back and to see how it works, can't make it any worse. That's the logic anyway, so we're going to fire those on next. Alright, we've had fish and chips, we've had an evening. I have had more exercise than I've ever really wanted to the day before a race. But she's done. Doesn't look any different as usual, but racy tyres, proper back suspension, giving everyone a sense check, obviously before I do any race. Check all the fluids, check everything's tight, recheck the bolt torques, because well, we've had them off anyway. Check tyre pressures, so all that remains is to pray for not to rain and be disappointed, because there will be. Clearly visible, significant quantities of rain. Not entirely visible, horrific levels of wind, so I can't even keep my brolly up. I forgot to bring a waterproof anything, so just for context, right? When you do an auto test, you do have a different course every event, and you're not allowed to just drive the course and work it out once they've laid the cones out. You do have to walk it, learn it, and then just try your best. Obviously, A, for safety, and B, to keep it fair for everyone. So I will have to go out at some point in this horrible, horrible downpour with a brolly that's probably going to die halfway through it, walk the course, try and remember it even though I am buffeted with Christ knows how much weather, and then hope that I get it right. Also, point of note, I imagine a few point of notes might occur today. The 2 routes, the best 2 out of 3 runs for each of them count towards your total, and in the afternoon they join them up, so you then need to remember the whole bloody lot and do a good time there as well. So for ultimate race day, I am being made to work for it. Unfortunately, the usual montage is not going to suffice today. There is no chance an outside camera is going to pick in, so I'm afraid you're going to have to just make do with looking at my mug and the front and seeing if I have the slightest chance of putting a decent time in. Right, my first run is done and it's not a bad time by all accounts, but a lot of folk tend to just put in tame times to suss the track out in the first one. Anyway, the point is, it's my second one now, and if I just keep this pace up, I should be alright. I should hasten to add, events like this are normally quite sociable things. We all get out, have a blather, watch it, do a bit of filming. In my case, this is going to be a quick one. This is just here to get points and then f*** off home again. But it's the price you pay for motorsport. I'll turn the blowers down a bit. You might be able to hear me, probably won't. So this is run 2, stage 1. So 3 runs on stage 1, 3 runs on stage 2. Best 2 times of each stage count. And then 2 runs on stage 3, which is combined in the afternoon. And the best one of that counts for a total time. Shortest of the 3 total times wins. Now, we might not be doing the afternoon. The weather is that bad, they're actually thinking about postponing it. So everything to play for. Here we go. Good, not fast at all. Cannot get the grip down. I'm on semi-slick, so that's not a shock. So as you can see, run 2 I've dropped a second. It's just getting wetter and wetter. It doesn't help that I was a wee bit too bold on some of the stuff. My lines weren't great. I can probably get a second off my first run if I just focus a bit better. But the good point is, everyone's first run at the moment seems to have been slow and I'm still sitting in first. That's only going to last as long as it takes for the third run to put the best 2s up. I've explained that, it was really horrific England, but you get the point. The third run will be the decider here if I keep first for this. Right, I definitely need a juice before we do this again. Right, so I actually forgot to film the third run, but it's just as well because it was pretty dull. I actually tried not to slide much and just drive the course as quick as possible without braking traction. Fastest time. So carrying a lot of pace and getting a bit wildly, it's not going to be the day for it. I think what we're going to have to do is be a bit technical and try not to break grip. It's just going to be dull, or we just have fun because it's wet. How to do. Right, stage 1 was an unmitigated disaster. I'm sitting 6 at the moment. Let's see if we can pull something back in stage 2. Here we are in unflattering cams.
What number are you?
Number 6. That was shite. Practice run. Not even worth having a look at. The good part is you can actually look at somebody who's normally quite quick and see how they're dealing with it. Coming up this bit, I was far too hot. Couldn't get the turn around the green cone there, which I do acknowledge that was crap, but yeah. Okay, apologies for the noise. Again, windows steaming up. Let's try again. Number 6. That was better. Track into a gully. That last corkscrew bit is just too tight, man. Last run of the solos, and then it's combined after lunch. Wet out there. That was a bucket hit. That game over. First run of the afternoon on the full course, and I have had a 30-second penalty, and I don't know what it was for. I'm not going to go find out, because what will happen is, if I know if it's going to be a knock cone, and I don't want to get to a point in the track and go, I knocked the cone here and start lifting off or changing my dynamic. I think I just need to be a wee bit carefuler, but keep the rough pace up. Because if it wasn't for the 30-second penalty, that was a 1 minute 30, which by all accounts would have been quite high up the leaderboard. I can just do this again, we might be able to pull this back. Right, cool off, and then last run of the day. Obviously I wasn't going to let that drop. I had to have a wee check about what kind of penalty I got there, and it was a 30-second wrong direction penalty. So I went and asked, has anyone seen a wrong direction? And a cone got completely omitted and ripped past. Had to go and check, and it turns out it was the only cone on the course. That one, the rest are buckets. I have went this side of the cone, whereas I should have went to the wall side. So at the moment I'm sitting 15th because of that 30-second penalty, but that last lap will be discounted if I can just pull the same calibre going the right way with a bit of a 30-second improvement. I'm not finishing first. I'm 50 seconds behind the lead at the moment, with one session to go. So yeah, it's not looking good. So sue me. I knew I wasn't doing well. The car's just not gripping the way it should. I'm understeering, I'm oversteering, so I just gave up. I wanted to have a giggle on the last lap. We're not going to be competitive today, so I just skidded all of it. So final results look like this. That was a mixed bag of results. So yes, the obvious thing I can do here is go, weather was terrible. And just to contextualise, because this will come out a lot later than, you know, the day after I do the race. That race was in the middle of that weekend one we had where like railway stations were turning into canals, like proper flood stuff. So it wasn't just like a bit of rain. That was quite wild. Crucially though, there's more going on here than just a bit of rain. If I was being really sharp, I would have not put semi-slicks on before the wettest day of the year to try and be competitive. So yes, I could also blame my 9th place finish on that. But there's more. So that might well be the last race. We won't have access to Ardere for the final leg of the championship, but we might be able to use Forest Burn, which we did touch on in a previous episode. That's to be confirmed, so at the moment I'm going to start drafting my winter plan for this car. Because if Forest Burn doesn't happen, it's going to be April before this thing's used on track and anger. That's a nice wide window for me to make some proper changes and get this car ready for the next season. So, next time we do look at the MX5, we're going to go through what the winter list is. It's not what you think, because realistically, building an 8,000 RPM Screamer engine in the car still doesn't handle well. It's not really the smartest idea, is it? But until then, apologies for the rain, lack of footage, misery, but you know, we're doing a competitive championship, so that does mean doing all of the races. We're going to go back onto some low cost after this because the winter list is not going to take me 6 months and we really do need to get back on that and catch up. If you just found this because you like MX5s, there's more. Go have a look around the channel and while you're doing it, like, bell, subscribe. If you like it a bit more than that and you want to say thanks for awesome content and no adverts, I'll just remind you, patreon.com/toolsandtrack. That is how I've got any form of monetization going on here. So I appreciate everyone who has supported, who's probably running up the side of the screen right now. And until next weekend, guys, drive safe. And remember your waterproofs, because I didn't. You what? Low cost. What about it?
The kicker.
Uh-huh. Low cost.
Oh, low cost.
Yeah.
So like those.
Oh yeah. It's like Lotus, but low cost because it's cheap. That's it doesn't really work. Anyway. So changes we have made since the last one. We have put a 6-speed in, a lightweight flywheel, a new clutch. Is this thing on, Margaret? Hello?